Hello children, welcome to the Samveda e-learning class. Children, today we are going to learn lesson number 1, Vijayanagara Empire part 2. As you know all, in the previous class we discussed about the Vijayanagara Empire's so many important points. Among those, achievements of the Vijayanagara kings. Also we learnt about the major 4 dynasties. You know which are those? Can you name those? Yes, your answers are right. Salva, Tuluva, Sangama and Aravidu. These are the 4 major dynasties ruled Vijayanagara Empire. Dear children, in today's class we are going to learn about the Vijayanagara Empire's art and sculpture. Also we are going to learn about the religion equality maintained by the Vijayanagara kings. And lastly we are going to learn the mark of boundaries. We are going to identify the places of the Vijayanagara Empire on the map of the India. We are going to learn contributions of the Vijayanagara Empire. You know that Vijayanagara Empire had a very good administration. Mainly they had a strong central administration. It means they were ruling and controlling all the major areas of the Vijayanagara Empire from the capital city, that is Hampi. You know that it is in the present Vijayanagara district of Karnataka. Mainly to advise king, there were so many ministers. They were assisting the king in the administration. Also there were so many leaders to look after local provinces. Like this, Vijayanagara Empire had a very good administrative system. Then they adopted centralized administrative system. It means for the administrative purpose they divided the entire kingdom into provinces. They divided provinces into regions, regions into cities, cities into village groups. Like this they had decentralized administrative system. Children, you know that in the present India we have divided India into states, states into district, districts into taluk, taluks into hoblis, hoblis into villages. For the administrative purpose we have divided the present India like this. In the same way, during the Vijayanagara rule they had divided the entire empire into like this. It means the proper administrative system they had. You know that to look after entire kingdom there was a king. In the same way, to look after provinces, the king appointed or sent some representatives. They were looking after the entire provinces. In the same way, there were some officers to look after village administration. They were hereditary officers. Like this, they had a administrative system. The king was a supreme judiciary. Today, you know that we have Supreme Court. It is the ultimate judiciary. Then in the state we have High Court. In the same way, those days king was a supreme leader. It means supreme judiciary decision taker. In the regional courts, it means regional, in the provinces they were regional officers. They were dispensing justice in the provinces. Like this, people were getting very good justice from the king as well as regional officers. Then let us discuss about the economic system. Vijayanagara Empire had a very good economic system. For example, they had very good trading with the other country. You know that in those days they were selling gold, silver, diamonds on the streets. How people sell vegetables on the streets. In the same way, they were selling gold, silver, diamond on the streets. That shows their economic system and a strong economic system. Mainly 1/6 of the land revenue was collected. It means out of 6, 1 part given to the king. It was a major income for the empire. Apart from land revenue, there were different types of taxes. Mainly trade tax, profession tax, road tax, fair tax, export tax and tribute in cash were the other major income sources for the empire. In this way, the entire Vijayanagara Empire had a very good economic system. You know that to protect entire Vijayanagara Empire, they had very good system of the infantry, cavalry, elephant and cannon divisions. Like this, they had very good army. In this way, they protected the entire Vijayanagara Empire for so many years. Children, you know one more important point? The Vijayanagara Empire kings, they were exporting so many Indian goods to other countries. As well, they were importing so many goods to India, mainly to the Vijayanagara Empire. Arabian horses. Arabian horses were used in the Vijayanagara kingdom because those horses were very strong. They were using those in the wars. Now let us discuss about the social status of the Vijayanagara Empire. During the Vijayanagara period, child marriage, sati system, devadasi system were in practice. It means, you know what is child marriage? Today it is completely banned. In the present day, Indian government abolished child marriage. It means to get marriage, girl should cross 18 years of age, men should cross 21 years of age. Also they had sati system. You know what is sati system? After the death of the husband, wife had to jump into the fire. It is called as a sati system. But you think of it, how difficult it was. Because of Raja Ram Mohan Roy's effort, in 19th century, sati system was abolished. In Vijayanagara Empire, they had devadasi system, and in the society they had monogamy system. It means practice of monogamy. Mono means one, having only one wife. But some rich people and kings were following polygamy. It means having more than one wife. Like this, they had a special social status. And most importantly, we should not forget, women were respected. Before that, in so many empires, women were not respected in different centuries. But in the Vijayanagara Empire, women were respected like men. It is one of the most important in those days. Children, in those days, Vijayanagara kings allowed people to, and also they were celebrating one of the most important festival, Deepavali. Children, you know that today if I say the word Dasara, you remember Mysore Dasara. Actually, today what we call Mysore Dasara, it was originally started by the Vijayanagara kings in 14th, 15th century. But after the decline of the Vijayanagara Empire, the Dasara festival continued by the Mysuru Vadiyas. Today, the Karnataka government giving more importance for the Dasara festival. Now, let us discuss about the economic status of the Vijayanagara Empire. You know that so many people of the Vijayanagara Empire depended on the different occupations. Among those, the most important occupation was agriculture. Agriculture was the main occupation. Farmers in those days growing different crops, mainly rice, maize, sugarcane and cotton crops were major crops grown by the farmers in those days. Agriculture was the main occupation. You know how we are getting water for that or irrigation for that? Through building tanks and wells. You can see here, like this, Vijayanagara kings constructed so many wells, canals. We call these as a Pushkarni also. Also they had very good irrigation system. They were supplying water to the fields through stone canals. You can see here, this is the stone canal. Through this they were giving water to the fields of the agriculture. Today also we can see all these important monuments in the Hampi. Children, I told you Vijayanagara kings had trading links with the other countries. It means they were exporting Indian goods to different countries of the world. Mainly they were exporting rice, cotton, clothes, iron, diamonds, sugar, musk, sandal and spices were exported to different countries. In the same way, Vijayanagara kings importing some important goods. Horse, silk clothes, Makmal clothes were the important material imported from the different countries of the world. Mainly, you know that we are importing horse from the Arabian countries. Vijayanagara was an international business center because they had too much of gold and diamond. mainly they were exporting diamond from the Vijayanagara Empire. Vijayanagara Empire, they had one of the most important industry was cloth weaving industry. They were exporting Indian, it means Vijayanagara Empire goods to different countries through sea route. It means they had so many important ports. Among those, Bhatkal, Honnavara, Mangaluru or Mangalore were the important ports. Today also these are the important ports. Through these ports we are exporting different goods to different countries of the world. You know that Vijayanagara was a rich empire, mainly regarding the gold. Example, they were selling gold, silver, diamond, etc. on the streets. The Vijayanagara kings minted different types of coins, mainly they minted gold coins. On the gold coins they were minting different gods and goddesses. Like this they were giving importance to the golden coins. Children, now let us learn about the Vijayanagara Empire's literature. You know that during the rule of the Vijayanagara Empire they gave more importance for the literature also. During the Vijayanagara's rule, Sanskrit, Telugu, Kannada languages developed immensely because they give more importance for these languages. Now let us discuss about the important poets and their works. The first poet is Vidyaranya. He is a guru of Vijayanagara founders Akka and Bukka. Vidyaranya wrote mainly two books. The first one is Shankara Vijaya, the second one is Sarvadarshan Sangraha. It means you can see here Shankara Vijaya and one more is Sarvadarshan Sangraha in Sanskrit language. And one more famous poet is Sayanacharya, the brother of Vidyaranya. He also wrote two books. The first one is Vedartha Prakasha and second one is Ayurveda Sudhanidhi. These are the two important works written in the Sanskrit language. The famous poet Kumaravyasa, you know who is Kumaravyasa, correct? One of the most important Kannada poet. Kumaravyasa wrote a famous book called Gadugina Bharata. It is a famous book. You can get more information your different books. Next famous poet is Ratnakara Varni. He wrote one of the most important book is Bharatesha Vaibhava. You can get this book in different libraries. And next one of the famous important poet is Chamarasa. His work is Prabhulinga Lile. It is one of the most important and significant literary work in Kannada language. And Lakkana, Vijayanagara Empire, he wrote a book called Shiva Tattva Chintamani. And one more famous poet was Bhima. He wrote a book called Basava Purana. It is one of the most important book, contribution to the Veerashaiva literature. Children, you know that Vijayanagara kings and their family members also created sufficient literature. It means they gave more importance as well as they were poets themselves. Among them, Ganga Devi wrote a book called Madhura Vijayam, and Prauda Devaraya, one of the most important kings of the Vijayanagara Empire, wrote a great drama called Sudhanidhi. And you know that the most important king Krishna Devaraya wrote Jambavati Kalyana, Madalasa Charitam and Rasamanjari. These are the important works of Vijayanagara king Krishna Devaraya. Krishna Devaraya encouraged Telugu literature. Because of this, he got a title called Andhra Bhoja. He encouraged Telugu literature, so he got a title called Andhra Bhoja. Krishna Devaraya himself a poet. He wrote a Telugu famous work that is called Amukta Mauleda in the Telugu language. Krishna Devaraya had given more importance for the literature. In his court there were Ashta Diggajas. Ashta means 8. It means 8 great poets were there. Among those, The first one is Allasani Peddanna, Tenali Ramakrishna, you know, Nandi Timmanna, Srinatha, Pingali Suranna, Tenali Ramakrishna, and others were the famous Diggajas who were in the court of the Sri Krishna Devaraya. Now let us learn about the religious harmony. It means religious system of the Vijayanagara Empire. Vijayanagara kings had very good religious system. It means they were giving importance to all the religions and they were great follower of the religious tolerancy. Example for that is during their rule there were so many temples were constructed, so many mosques were there, mainly Bukkaraya. In his rule he solved the problems between Jains and Vaishnavas. We can get this information from a inscription called Stravana Belagola inscription of 1368 CE. One of the most important, Barbosa, who visited Vijayanagara Empire during the rule of Krishnadevaraya, seeing the Vijayanagara kings, Vijayanagara Empire, people of the different religion, he states that any Christian, Jew, Muslim, Hindu or person of any religion can live happily in the Vijayanagara kingdom because these kings respects all religion. This statement by the Barbos says the Vijayanagara empires and kings religious tolerancy. Now the most important contribution of Vijayanagara empire was art and sculpture. Children, now we are going to learn about the most important contribution of Vijayanagara empire is art and sculpture. A great historian, Percy Brown, observing the temples and monuments, sculptures, statues of the Vijayanagara empire, he states that art and sculpture of Vijayanagara empire was evolutionary form of Dravidian style. It means they gave more importance for the Dravidian style of the architecture. They gave more importance for this style and constructed so many temples using this Dravidian style of architecture. Now you can see here, this is one of the most important temple. It is called Virupaksha temple. Vijayanagara kings, wherever they constructed temples, in the courtyard of the temples they gave, it means they constructed Kalyana Mantapa. See, this is Shikara, this is the courtyard of the temple. In every temple they constructed Kalyana Mantapa. See, we can see here it is Kalyana Mantapa. This is kitchen. These are the other temples. Like this, they gave more importance for the Kalyana Mantapas, kitchens and other important temples in the temple yards. It is one of the most important temple, Hazara Ramaswamy temple. The term Hazara Rama literally means 1,000 Rama. In this temple, on the walls of the temple, they are engraved or carved Ramayana. You can see here on the stones of the temple, like this they carved the Ramayana. One more temple, Vittala Swami temple. You can see here, this is one of the most important temple. In the courtyard of this temple, we can see stone chariot. It was constructed during the rule of the Sri Krishna Devaraya. In the Vittala temple, we can see the most important iconic music pillar. Today also we can see all these important monuments. They constructed 56 monolithic pillars. Also we can see small music pillars. See, these are the music pillars. If you tap on this stone, I mean small pillar, the music comes out. These are one of the most important monuments constructed during the Vijayanagara kings. And one more important temple is Krishna Swami temple. You can see here, this is dedicated to Lord Krishna. See how beautiful it is, Kamala Mahal. It is in the shape of the Kamala, so it is called Kamala Mahal. Sringeri Vidya Shankara temple, it is in the present Sringeri. It was constructed during the rule of the Vijayanagara kings. The temples of the Vijayanagara empire were spacious enclosures, very wide marriage halls, they had meeting halls, spring pavilions were the main features of the temples of Vijayanagara period. This is one of the most important administrative hall. Here they used to do so many meetings, and you can see here during their rule they gave importance for the constructing the high towers like this. It is a example for the Dravidian style of architecture. Idols of Narasimha and Ganapati, these are the monolithic stone sculpture. Mono means one. These are constructed using one stone. This is called Narasimha or Ugra Narasimha. Also it is called by another name, that is Yoga Narasimha, because you can see the gesture. And one more, Ganapati statue. It is one of the most important monolithic stone sculpture. During the rule of Vijayanagara, they gave more importance for the music, that is called Dakshinadi, or today we call it as a Carnatic music. During the rule of the Vijayanagara empire, Carnatic music had reached even for the common people. Mainly Purandara Das and Kanaka Das were in the court of the Sri Krishna Devaraya. He gave more importance for the and prominence to the those dasas, so they contributed more for the Carnatic music. We call Purandara Dasa as a father of the Carnatic music. Vijayanagara kings constructed so many temples, mosques in different parts of the Vijayanagara empire. Among those, they constructed in Kalahasti, Srishaila, Tirupati, Chidambaram, Srirangam, Kumbakonam, Kanchi. In other places we can see art and sculptures of the Vijayanagara. Now also we can see all those. Now we consider these as a most important monuments. Now I would like to show you some important monuments that are in Hampi. This is called Ane Salu, Vante Salu. In this place they used to tie elephants using the golden chain. It is one of the most important image. It is called Pushkarani. They are using this water for different purpose. It is a river Tungabhadra. You know that the Vijayanagara empire founded on the southern bank of the Tungabhadra river. Children, so far we learnt more important points about the Vijayanagara empire, correct? It is time to write the homework. Children, I am giving you some homework for you. Please write down the homework and write answers for those and show it to your teacher.
ಸುಂದರ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿಯ ಮಡಿಲಲ್ಲಿ ಲಯವಾಗಿರುವ ಹಂಪಿಯು ರಮಣೀಯ ನಿಸರ್ಗದ ಔದಾರ್ಯವು ಅದರ ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಸೌಹಾರ್ದತೆ, ಉದಾರತೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಸಹಿಷ್ಣುತೆಗಳ ಕುರುಹಾಗಿ ಹಲವು ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ವರೆಗೆ ಹರಡಿರುವ ಪಳೆಯುಳಿಕೆಗಳ ರಾಶಿ, ಕೆತ್ತನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ ಕಲ್ಲುಗಳು, ಒಡೆದ ಗೋಡೆಗಳು, ನಾಶವಾದ ದೇವಾಲಯಗಳು, ಭಗ್ನಗೊಂಡ ವಿಗ್ರಹಗಳಿಂದಾಗಿ ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ಅತಿ ವಿಸ್ತಾರವಾದ ಬಯಲು ವಸ್ತು ಪ್ರದರ್ಶನಾಲಯವೆಂದು ಹೆಸರು ಪಡೆದಿದೆ.
ಹಂಪಿಯ ಇತಿಹಾಸವನ್ನು ಬಹಳ ಪ್ರಾಚೀನ ಕಾಲಕ್ಕೆ ಒಯ್ಯಬಹುದು. ಜನರ ನಂಬಿಕೆಯಂತೆ ಹಂಪಿಯು ಕಿಷ್ಕಿಂಧ ಎಂದು ನಂಬಲಾಗಿದೆ. ರಾಮಾಯಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಲ್ಲೇಖವಾಗಿರುವ ಪ್ರಸಿದ್ಧ ಬೆಟ್ಟಗಳಾದ ಅಂಜನಾದ್ರಿ, ಕಿಷ್ಕಿಂಧ, ಮಾತಂಗ, ಮಾಲ್ಯವಂತ, ಋಷ್ಯಮೂಕ, ಹೇಮಕೂಟ ಮತ್ತು ರತ್ನಕೂಟಗಳು ಇಲ್ಲಿವೆ.
13ನೇ ಶತಮಾನದ ಅಂತ್ಯದ ವೇಳೆಗೆ ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಭಾರತದ ಸ್ಥಳೀಯ ರಾಜರ ಮೇಲೆ ಮುಸಲ್ಮಾನ ಮನೆತನಗಳು ದಾಳಿಗಳನ್ನು ನಡೆಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದರು. ಅವರ ಆಕ್ರಮಣಗಳನ್ನು ಪ್ರಬಲವಾಗಿ ಎದುರಿಸಲು ವಿಜಯನಗರ ಸಾಮ್ರಾಜ್ಯವು ಸ್ಥಾಪನೆಯಾಯಿತು. ಸಂಗಮ ವಂಶದ ಸಹೋದರರುಗಳಾದ ಹರಿಹರ ಮತ್ತು ಬುಕ್ಕರು ಕ್ರಿಸ್ತಶಕ 1336ರಿಂದ 1342 ನಡುವೆ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಆನೆಗೊಂದಿಯನ್ನು ನಂತರ ಹಂಪಿಯನ್ನು ರಾಜಧಾನಿಯನ್ನಾಗಿಸಿಕೊಂಡು ವಿಜಯನಗರ ರಾಜ್ಯವನ್ನು ಸ್ಥಾಪಿಸಿದರು. ವಿಜಯನಗರ ರಾಜ್ಯವು ಕಾಲಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಲಗೊಂಡು ವರ್ಧಿಸಿ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಸಮಯದವರೆಗೆ ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಭಾರತದ ಬಹುಭಾಗಗಳನ್ನು ಒಳಗೊಂಡಿತ್ತು. ಬಹಳ ವಿಶಾಲವಾದಂತಹ ಪ್ರದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಹರಡಿಕೊಂಡಿರುವಂತಹ ಸುಮಾರು 40 ಚದುರ ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ವ್ಯಾಪ್ತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು 23 ಗ್ರಾಮಗಳನ್ನು ಒಳಗೊಂಡಂತಹ ಪ್ರದೇಶ. ವಿಜಯನಗರ ಸ್ಮಾರಕಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಪ್ರಮುಖವಾಗಿ 3 ಭಾಗಗಳನ್ನಾಗಿ ವರ್ಗೀಕರಿಸುತ್ತೇವೆ: ಧಾರ್ಮಿಕ ಕಟ್ಟಡಗಳು, ಲೌಕಿಕ ಕಟ್ಟಡಗಳು, ರಕ್ಷಣಾ ಕಟ್ಟಡಗಳು.
ಸಾಸಿವೆ ಕಾಳು ಗಣಪ. ಹಂಪಿಯನ್ನು ತಲುಪುತ್ತಿದ್ದಂತೆಯೇ ನಮಗೆ ದೊರಕುವ ಮೊದಲ ಸ್ಮಾರಕ ಸಾಸಿವೆ ಕಾಳು ಗಣಪತಿ.
ತಲರಿಘಟ್ಟ ದ್ವಾರ ಅಥವಾ ತಳವಾರಘಟ್ಟ ದ್ವಾರ. ಹಂಪಿಗೆ ಪ್ರವೇಶಿಸಲು ಪ್ರಮುಖವಾದ ದ್ವಾರಗಳ ಪೈಕಿ ತಲರಿಘಟ್ಟ ಅಥವಾ ತಳವಾರಘಟ್ಟ ದ್ವಾರ ಸಹ ಒಂದು. ವಿರೂಪಾಕ್ಷ ದೇವಾಲಯ.
ವಿರೂಪಾಕ್ಷ ದೇವಾಲಯವು ಹಂಪಿಯ ಮುಕುಟಪ್ರಾಯವಾಗಿದೆ. ಭಗವಾನ್ ಶಿವನ ಮತ್ತು ಅವನ ಪತ್ನಿ ಪಂಪಾದೇವಿಗೆ ಮೀಸಲಾಗಿರುವ ಈ ದೇವಾಲಯವು ಈಗಲೂ ಆರಾಧನೆಗೆ ಬಳಸಲ್ಪಡುತ್ತಿರುವ ದೇವಾಲಯವಾಗಿದೆ.
ವಿಜಯ ವಿಠಲ ದೇವಾಲಯ. ವಿಶಾಲ ವಿಜಯನಗರ ಪರಂಪರೆಯ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಅಪ್ರತಿಮ ಅವಶೇಷಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ವಿಜಯ ವಿಠಲ ದೇವಾಲಯ. ವಿಶಾಲ ಮತ್ತು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಆವರಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಉತ್ತರ, ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಮತ್ತು ಪೂರ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ಭವ್ಯ ಗೋಪುರ ಪ್ರವೇಶ ದ್ವಾರಗಳನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರುವ ವಿಠಲ ದೇವಾಲಯ ವಿಜಯನಗರ ದೇವಾಲಯದ ಶಿಲ್ಪಕಲೆಯ ಉತ್ತುಂಗ ಮಟ್ಟವನ್ನು ಅನಾವರಣಗೊಳಿಸುತ್ತದೆ.
ಕಲ್ಲಿನ ರಥ. ಈ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನವು ಕೆಲವು ಸುಂದರವಾದ ಕಲ್ಲಿನ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣಗಳನ್ನು ಒಳಗೊಂಡಿದೆ. ಈ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನದ ಅಂಗಳದಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಕಲ್ಲಿನ ರಥದ ಸೊಬಗನ್ನು ಪದಗಳಿಂದ ವರ್ಣಿಸಲು ಅಸಾಧ್ಯ.
ಐತಿಹಾಸಿಕ ಹಂಪಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಜಯ ವಿಠಲ ದೇಗುಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಪ್ತಸ್ವರ ಹೊರಡಿಸುವ 56 ಕಂಬಗಳನ್ನು ನಿರ್ಮಿಸಲಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಇವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸದ್ಯ 42 ಕಂಬಗಳನ್ನಷ್ಟೇ ಕಾಣಬಹುದು. ಸ್ವರ ಚಿಮ್ಮಿಸುವ ಕಲಾತ್ಮಕತೆಯ ಅಗಾಧತೆಯನ್ನು ತೋರಿಸುವ ಈ ಕಂಬಗಳನ್ನು ಸರೆಗಮ ಕಂಬಗಳು ಎಂದು ಕರೆಯಲಾಗುತ್ತದೆ.
ಜಲತರಂಗ, ಗಂಟೆನಾದ, ಶಾಲಾಗಂಟೆ, ಘಟವಾದ್ಯ, ಡಮರುಗ, ಮೃದಂಗ, ವೇಣುನಾದ ಇವೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಆಲಿಸಲು ಪ್ರವಾಸಿಗಳು ಕನಸು ಕಾಣುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಕಂಬಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊರೆಯಲು ಬಳಸುವ ಬಂಡೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಲೋಹದ ಅದಿರು ಮತ್ತು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದ ಸಿಲಿಕಾ ಇರುವುದರಿಂದ ಈ ಸ್ತಂಭಗಳು ಸಂಗೀತವನ್ನು ಉತ್ಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡುತ್ತವೆ ಎಂದು ಸಂಶೋಧನೆಗಳು ಸೂಚಿಸುತ್ತವೆ.
Thank you everyone.